Is my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective. Is my perspective. Yeah, yo, am I wrong or is it just you? Or did my life show me some things that gave me my view? And if I went through what you went through, would I be you? I don't know. That's too many questions with no answer, but plenty chances for many lessons. Am I willing to learn that it's all perception? That the picture that I paint ain't the one that you sketching? So can we disagree without drawing a weapon? Long as I can understand that it's just your perspective. Yeah, it's my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective. Is my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective.
You know what? You have not had a proper opening anytime I'm on the show. It's a damn disaster.
Hey, it's been a rough day today, but I want to welcome everyone to My Perspective Fridays, and today topic is going to be Monique versus L.Hughely. So I know in the news there was some back and forth about she going off on L.Hughely and about some type of contract that she figured he had something to do with that. Does anybody know about that?
Oh,
Absolutely know about that.
Yeah.
It's all you can hear about. It's all we hear
It's
about.
all you
It's
think
a
about.
hot mess.
It's like T.I. say, what you know about that? A lot. Well, you know what? It's like
I don't even know how to get into it.
anytime something happens, there's always well, you know what? I'll let somebody else go first because I'm very passionate. I might talk 20 minutes straight. Go somebody.
Hey, no, go and start it off. Go and start it off because this tough. This is tough.
So everybody knows now, you know, L.Hughely had a contract. Monique had a contract that it's widely been said that her and her daddy or her and her husband drew up that said she was going to be the headliner. DL had one that said he was going to be headliner. And one person was handling it professionally and one person decided not to handle it like an adult. That's my assessment. And my biggest problem is she went on stage and tried to sabotage this person that she didn't even go and talk to in front of people who admire her. And then my second biggest annoyance with it is ever since the Oprah, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey instance, whoever didn't agree with her, little by little, people started to get on her side until it was mostly 80% people behind Monique, 20% still reserved on that other side. And now the lengths that she's gone to do this, it's like everybody gonna jump back over.
I remember that whole situation with her, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, and I forgot the name of the other person that you brought up.
Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels. And you know, it's funny that me and my wife was and Oprah. And it's funny that me and my wife was like really on her side because we thought that she was being double teamed. We were just listening to what we was part of that 1%, as you said, Keoni, that was going over slowly but surely going over to her side. And then once I got the full gist of what was going on, and I got the full gist of it after this incident happened. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And then I was trying to figure out who is her daddy. Daddy was helping her out.
Papi baby.
Oh my God! Can I just say that is the most annoying. I've always been a fan of Monique's, but that is one of the most annoying part of Monique as a celebrity. Every time we see her now, she's with her daddy. Like every time we see Kim, we don't always see Chris. Like we don't need to see your manager every time. He doesn't need to be your bodyguard every time. We don't love him. We love you. Like that is one of the most annoying things. He doesn't need to be or have his hand in every one of your decisions.
Like, detach yourself at some point.
Yes.
Period. This is your professional career, not his. I understand he's in your back pocket and he's trailing behind you. You want him to be a part of it. That's my partner, but be a partner from the back end and leave it there. Because I've always loved Monique as well. And I was the one that was on her side as well. But then some things just got a little too far to the left. Okay. I felt like at the beginning, when all this started years ago, I was like, just sit down, let everything settle, and then you'll get back on top of your game. But then you'll turn around and do something that make people think, if all of these people keep having the same gripe with you, maybe it is you. I understand you being fed up. I understand you being tired and upset with things, but the way you handle it is what makes it a better thing for you. Because all you're doing is making it look worse for yourself instead of better.
Well, you know, and because we live in this internet world, you know, and we live by snippets. See, that's the issue that I have. Because we live by snippets, whatever somebody puts out for their side, we never have all the data.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
It's always three sides. It's always
three, many sides. Okay. Just like we have seen, you know, when it came to the contracts, the discussion was which contract was this one and which contract was this one. And you know, my biggest issue is this, and you know, by the grace of God, with this show, I'm gonna be keeping up with a whole lot more stuff. But you know, this is the kind of stuff, quite frankly, I don't spend my time dealing with because I can't sort it out for you.
Right.
You know, I can't sort it out for you. I can't pick up 20 years of your history and try to figure out what's right, what's wrong, what's good, bad, or indifferent. I can only evaluate what I see. And what I see at this point is not the kind of behavior that I would really like to see. I mean, being in this
definitely being a Black woman, I definitely want to be represented as that.
Well, and being a Black woman and being in the industry, where this is an industry that influences the way people think. Okay. Right. And when all they get are bits and pieces, my issue is we don't have enough people that think deep enough or look into something deep enough to figure out how to take a side anyway.
And then to have like a big old opinion about it is another thing. For them to have this sliver of the story, this piece of the whole grand story, and then to have this big of an opinion about it, it's a whole nother thing. My initial reactions is that us as a people, we're in too vulnerable of a spot right now in the media to be having an argument over ego. Like, for an argument to be this vapid, it's beyond me that, like you said, why are we talking about this? Why are we just, this shouldn't be to the forefront.
Please,
go ahead, go ahead, Keoni.
Please. Good God, it's like a kid. We go to the bathroom or something.
I agree with you. Look, I always have to point out when we do this thing, this day and age, because that snippets we're getting, it's always been like that. When gossip and things were happening around town, you got snippets. You never got the whole story. You got her side, his side, the cousin's side, everybody's side, and you always had to put all the pieces together. So it's kind of always been like that. The only difference is more people than what's going on in your little ass town is being able to see
right.
what's going on. So what Sean just said, even though we're talking about it, and the sad part is I look like I'm having fun talking about it, but I'm not. I don't want to be boring. But the fact that is in the forefront of the news, overshadowing more important things that we could be talking about.
Right. And it keeps happening over and over and over again with a different person. It's like, can we stop this at some point? When do you grow up?
Yeah, but Tila, we got to realize some of this would not always be at the forefront if we didn't have so many people buying into watching this.
Correct.
Well, you know what? Let me ask. Let's ask Fook. Fook, what do you think? Because Are you a Monique fan? Are you a L.Hughely fan? Or
I'm not a fan of neither one of them. I don't know. I was just kind of confused why Monique would try to sabotage that guy Hughely.
Ooh, don't be
So I was
Hughely.
really trying to figure it out. Like, she wanted to be the headliner to the point she's gonna sabotage someone else. His rebuttal was so funny though. He was just like, his rebuttal was funny. It was short.
Classy. He could be a little more classy.
Classy.
Yeah, he did take a high road.
And a lot of people took the high road. I guess my only thing is why bring
the high road.
Say what, Tony?
Corey Holcomb didn't take the high road.
Oh, Corey was on it, and you see, she didn't snap back at him.
And the thing is, why would she bring up the daughter with the sexual harassment and
she brought up the dog.
Why
did she bring up the dog?
And the dog, yeah. And so why are you bringing up this woman? You bringing up old wounds. You kind of like ostracizing her by she has to pick
because
between.
Oprah brought up her wounds and she felt like she wanted to snap back and air somebody else's laundry.
But that's the parallel. You didn't like it when Oprah did it. You didn't like it when Oprah brought up your traumas beforehand.
Right.
But you have no problem bringing up this girl's who has nothing at all to do.
Yeah, because she felt like nobody was on her side when Oprah did it. So okay, well, let me do it too. It's like,
yeah, but you see what? But the irony is, none of that had anything to do with the contract dispute.
Nothing.
All. None of that had anything to do with the contract dispute. That for those of us in the industry know, you go to your managers, your agents, and your promoters to deal with contract disputes.
Yes, the promoter.
Why are you going to deal with the people that are on the show with you?
But you have to remember, her manager is her daddy. So he probably has so much going on in his ear.
That is so
for you. So we're going to stick to this contract and we're going to go up here and act a fool because you are the one that's supposed to be doing this. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem. There's nothing logical in that pairing to help them understand this is not a DL issue. Talk to the person who drew up this contract, signed it, and got you onto this show.
Because if you look at the beginning of the special when she got on stage, she said the promoters is a raggedy MFer. So it's like you already know that it's the professionals. You keep championing that you've been in the game for 30 plus years. So you would think that someone who's been in the industry in the game for that long, you would run across some horrible promoters or a time or two. So
all entertainers have run into things with their contracts where it didn't turn out well, or it changed at the end, or something else came up. It happens. That's part of entertainment. Okay, if you're getting paid the same amount of money, why does it matter? Now maybe that was part of it. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe she wasn't going to get the same paycheck. I don't know.
Now her and Lee Daniels and Oprah and everybody made up. Now she's up there trying to I don't know, trying to make herself relevant again by just jumping on everybody. It doesn't.
Well, she was about to be relevant. She also made a joke about that. Mafia family with 50 Cent.
She also made a joke about that. She was like, "One thing about Monique, y'all know, I'm gonna tell." It was like, "Yeah, girl, we know you're gonna say something."
We know that, right?
Yeah, we know you're gonna say something.
And the thing about comedians, because comedians, they get paid to play the dozens. Okay, that's part of the routine.
Whoa, that's a throwback reference.
Hey, I'm sorry, I can only give it from my perspective. Okay,
That's right.
Comedians get paid, and they develop routines based on playing the dozens. Now, unfortunately, they've been playing the dozens all over YouTube, Instagram, and whatever for days. And I just think at some point, what happens to some of their, and I'm going to say, even Monique has referenced home training. in a certain way. You know, when she has criticized DL about, you know, didn't you know better than to say this and say that? And I'm just going to say this, you know, I was taught you don't air your dirty laundry in public.
Right. And even she said that. She's like, we don't talk about family, we don't do this, but then you turn around and do it. So if that's what you're standing on,
all the laundry.
Yeah, if you're standing on that, regardless of what other people are putting out there, you don't do it because you say that's what we don't do. So why would you even feed into that no matter what?
Right.
Just to prove or try to prove your case.
These people that are saying, both of them are wrong, and everybody tries to, when you like somebody, you try to say both people are wrong. This is like a 95% wrong, in my opinion. The thing that is very annoying, we talked about this last week with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard. When you go to say something about someone, make sure they got a history of it, and there's other people that have had that complaint. Because we see when something comes out, people will come out of the woodworks. Now, all these people that had bad experiences with Will Smith came out of the woodworks, right?
Right.
It wasn't loud, but there were some people. Now, we've heard stuff about Steve Harvey. We've heard stuff about Tyler Perry. We've heard stuff about Oprah. Now, one person in D.L. Hughely's 38-year career has ever talked about an issue or had an issue with him, business-wise and professionally. They all say the same thing: respect. That is got cred, right? One of those comedians that nobody has ever. You can't find it on YouTube. Somebody doing an interview saying, "Well, I hate that D.L. Hughely. He did A, B, and C." And so you're gonna do that. You're the one who has a history of having bad chemistry with people. So you should be. That's like me. I robbed the store. I got arrested. The cop.
Difficult.
Look, I robbed the store. I got arrested. The cop me up. I sued the city. I got $1 million. And you know what I did a month later? I went and robbed another store.
Another store.
I think it was just a lot of built up stuff, because I know she said that he has been saying stuff over time, and she's not the type of person to just say it. I'm gonna tell you why you're there so you can kind of rebut why I'm there. Whereas he will be on a talk show, he'll be on wherever, on a radio show, and he'll be saying certain things on the comedy run, and she's not there to say anything in rebuttal. So she said, now I have him here. I'm going to put everything out there that I've been feeling and see what you do. Which was wrong. Sure did. Real nice. But you just said that they did you wrong on his radio show, but now you're ready to go back. She didn't say nothing about coming to a radio show. She said, I'll give you my address. Let's meet face to face. Nothing.
Why would I invite you onto my radio show after you've publicly humiliated me like this?
Right.
Why am I?
And you have all that.
It's just like when people expect for Chris Rock to be on Red Table Talk. Like, why in the world would you think that man's gonna go on that damn show?
Right.
And talk about his trauma? Like, no,
not when it's fresh. Definitely not when it's fresh.
Well, you know, and Fook, I want to hear your thoughts on this. One of the things that I hated, this is when it became disgusting. Even though you shouldn't bring it up. If D.L. Hughely and his daughter were at odds, don't talk to each other, and they were still disgruntled, okay, let's say you bring it up. These people have healed from that. He's been on radio talking about he was wrong. He's a mistake. It wasn't fake because it didn't come the next day, the next week. It came years later. They have reconciled. They have healed. And now you're going to bring this up. And I like how they defended each other and banded together. Because like you say, I'm confused on why she did it. D.L. Hughely said it perfect that first day of his radio show. She called her an arsonist. You did what you did. You knew I was coming on after you, and you wanted to see your damage. That's what he said. You wanted to see your damage. You know who does that? An arsonist. That's what he said. That was a perfect analogy.
Burned down the stage and wanted me to walk through the fire.
Oh, did he say that?
Huh?
Did he say that or did you say that?
No, I said that. Nobody said that. It was just my personal quote. Yeah, he wanted her to burn down the stage and expected him to walk through the fire.
Burn down the stage.
Like she got some healing to do.
Who?
Monique.
Stop talking to your damn dad, your husband.
I mean, to her point, she says that she calls him daddy because he literally fits those daddy-like roles that she didn't have. And if that's not the weirdest shit to me, like that is the weirdest.
Incestuous topic. It's like an insect.
That's another topic.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother positioning that right.
But
well,
like that's what I'm saying. For your husband,
it's hard
to pull you back and
pull somebody by the reins when they paying all your bills.
Yeah, ain't no sugar daddy. He ain't got no money.
But is he paying the bills?
No.
He paying the bill. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to pull. Hey, get over here. This is what you need to do. This is what I need to do. I pay your notes, your electric. Let's see how you are when you ain't got no AC. Hey,
it's one thing to call you daddy at night when nobody don't hear you. It's another thing to call you daddy for you keep that in your household if that's your nickname. That's fine for those occasions.
Okay, but let's take it. Hold up.
You can call him daddy at nighttime in the public. In the public, you need to cut that out. Okay,
see,
that's a totally different
issue I have again is all of this posturing creates difficult.
It creates content for KeoniProductions.
Right? Yeah, it does. But it creates it feeds into or provides false narratives for our community. Okay,
fits in a stereotype.
To fit into a stereotype, and now we got to deal with how do our young women see relationships with men when this relationship becomes Monique and Daddy, and what Daddy is saying, in my eyes, I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but from a media point of view, what I see is not that kind of figure. I see somebody fueling the fire, adding to the nonsense that's already going on. And then I'm going to ask one more question. Why are so many people invested in this drama?
Yeah, because listen, we got
drama.
Why do you watch a dramatic movie? Why do you watch a horror movie? Why do you? It's sad, but it's entertaining. You know what? Like I used to say this all the time. People go, I hate on the Real Housewives that they always argue. And well, if they went on a trip and everybody had a good time and was nice, people would stop watching.
Well, and now we bring out a bottom line intent.
You bring out a what?
A bottom line intent.
Bottom line.
I'm getting more fans, more viewership, and opportunity to raise my credibility.
Where's she getting that from?
My visibility.
No, that's not what's
happening. I can't do that now.
No, but I didn't say it was successful. Okay. I just said that, when we talk about entertainment, we talk about social media. it's all about the views, the likes. And what disturbs me is that we have a society
like that.
that would rather deal with drama.
None of that matters because she's not getting the views and the likes. You know who's getting the people who are talking about the topics are getting the views and the likes. The people who are going to watch her on her specific channel are people who are already watching her anyway. Now, some people will go over to see the response, but people who, if you really can't stand somebody, you don't support them by going to their page. Like, for instance, if she was beating with
she lost viewers,
I just wait till Shonen puts his rebuttal on his page and I go watch it. You think she lost what?
Do you think she
Did
lost?
Did she lose viewers?
Do you think
viewers for what?
I don't
No,
think
because
so.
they want to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah,
She's not going to lose them now. They want to see how this plays out.
But you know what's ironic? What's ironic is this. A lot of this stuff I don't keep up with. I'm learning and I'm watching because we decide we're going to talk about it. But I will tell you, it was a painful watch. Okay, it was a painful watch because you know there were some things that L.Hughely said that was so critical. At the time that all this happened, we had just had all of these mass shootings, etc., etc. And instead of our facing what's really important, we got diverted to looking at what she said about he said, she said.
Aside from the fact that she just got put back on. She just got put back on.
And I really feel like if I'm thinking about a post that I saw, what I really think happened, and this is why you need to show up at your time, is because when they was reaching out to her, making sure she was going to be there at a certain time, she didn't respond.
She didn't respond, and she was late.
And so she was late. So they felt like, well, maybe we need to switch the lineup. You know, they're looking at it from a different perspective. Like, well, she's not going to show up. We don't know if she's going to be here. So we'll just switch it up a little bit.
But there's a game to that.
Ego. This is just
all of this becomes a giant chess match.
No, one person's playing chess and one person's playing checkers. So
okay, fine. We'll take that. I like that.
You know what? The thing that really got to me was one specific insult that she issued. Now, I'm a part of the Rainbow Fractured Wrist Ministry. Happy Pride. So, like, she does this tactic that a lot of women do, particularly women.
All right, watch yourself now.
Watch yourself now. This is what they do. I have seen it. Whenever they get into a lot of arguments with a lot of men, cis hetero men, and they're not getting their way, they're not getting the submission that they want or whatever, they automatically go, oh, well, he's gay. She's tried to work he's DL type.
Younger than you.
And I feel like that as an insult right now, like it completes the narrative that there's something wrong with being gay. So, this guy is DL. Like, that's not what DL means. And like you trying to flip that narrative shows like that. I don't even think you're an ally of the rainbow community.
But she said she knows he's a heterosexual man, but he throws things out there like that too. So when you hear it, but no, it is that way sometimes. Yes. When you hear it against yourself, it requires you to think differently. But when you're throwing it out there on other people, oh, it's fine when you say it, it's fine when you do it, it's all right. But when I say it, it's a problem. And that's the big thing about the comedian world. It's like so many people get blackballed, they get talked about because they said this, said that, because some jokes can go too far. But what is too far for some people? So if you can't throw it out and not take it yourself.
I've never seen a comedian blackballed for a joke. That's number one, ever. I've never seen a comedian blackballed.
They've been taken off and stuff. They've been taken off shows. They've been done.
But he was. That's a different blackballing and removing you from doing a commercial or hosting something is different. He didn't get taken out of that, Kevin Hart. He didn't get taken out of that and then never got in anything again. That's different.
He still worked.
Yeah.
Sean, you do something that say, well, I don't want you to do this commercial I was going to have you in, but you got 17 other commercials after that. They've been blackballed for doing a little more serious thing. And what Sean was alluding to, and I know Tequila and Lynn, it's not really your demographic or age bracket. It's a newer thing for, I would say, the 30 and under women that they do. That anytime, well, I'm single because all these men are gay, or they can't handle me because they're gay. Like everybody has to be gay if they're different. That was the thing that angered a lot of people because
got it. Okay.
That is, why are you using that as an insult?
Right.
You know,
because you got something you doing.
We just had the shooters. We were going in the Pride Month, and then you spin that. So it's like
I mean, if it was on brand for him, like if he was a sussy kind of guy, like if it was like Dennis Rodman or something, that would have made sense. Like the joke would have made sense at least. But like DL, I mean, we haven't even heard of anything of DL being called or being around the LGBT side of town. Like,
which is funny after you just said what you said about his wife. And then you said that. That's kind of crazy. Like,
well, Sean Ron, do you believe that you can what was that thing you just said, Sean? I gotta do the difference. Especially to make the E and N shown silent, you know. Now I forgot the question.
What are we talking about?
Here's the thing. And you food, because me, Lynn, and especially Tequila, she's been waiting on this topic. It seems like is all of this not a thing if she simply goes backstage and talk to DL?
Right.
The first person she should have talked to was the promoter.
Sean and Fook. I'm gonna get my head wag in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a
yes,
yeah,
because
I didn't see the whole show, but I saw that part. I saw the
she
part
had mentioned something about he said that no, I'm not going on before her. She has to go or I'm not going on. So I don't know if there was a conversation because remember, we only get snippets, as Miss Lynn said. We get snippets, but I don't know if it was a conversation or not.
She made it very much clear that when I leave this stage, the headliner has left.
Yeah,
knowing that she like.
But you know what's interesting is now this comes from a perspective of from somebody that's done shows, managed shows. The runner show is set far before the time that the show occurs. Okay, so the runner show was set before she got to the venue. The runner show was set before the day of the show.
Yes.
You know, we've seen where the runner show was listed, the timing. The bottom line was this. None of that had to wait until I walk on stage.
Right. And at this point, as dramatic as it's gotten, drop the contract. Drop the contract. Show us the contract. Show us what was actually in the contract. If
they did. They both put up their contracts and performance demos. They put all that online, showing she kept saying mine has a signature. Yours doesn't.
But Tequila, that's a question too. Why do you have different letterheads that these contracts?
Because her contract was by her daddy, Hicks
right
management.
It's your favorite person.
Oh, it's so cringy. Every time she says to my daddy, me and daddy decide, it's so cringy to me. Like,
in her defense,
you would think you should have a professional relationship with your manager.
At least you be able to switch them off. When you're talking about my manager, I'm talking about my manager. But when I'm talking about me and my man went for a vacation, me and daddy went to vacation, but you refer to him as daddy every time you refer to him.
Just say Sydney. That's his name. Say Sydney.
So Good God. It's so bad.
Well, you know, the other thing is, from a creative standpoint, I've seen some of the videos that all relate to and reference the promo materials and all of that. Now, for somebody that's dealt in advertising and marketing, we know headliners get a larger image. The next folks get a smaller image. So there was already indication all the way throughout the promotion period that DL was the headliner.
But also, if you look at their agreements, it could have been something that happened. Anything can happen in 24 hours, correct? So it might have been that Monique was the headliner on the 28th. And then on the 29th, they decided to change it up for whatever reason. Maybe it was something in your contract that your husband, daddy, manager drew up that they were not going to deal with. And they decided to switch it up on the 29th. Well, and then you didn't go back and try to clarify it beforehand. When they were reaching out to you, trying to figure out if you're going to show up. You got to answer the call. You got to answer the call so you can figure it out.
The promo material said DL.
And Monique. It said DL, Hughely, and Monique.
Yeah, but his image was bigger. And
it was
I
just
know
at the
that
top.
When
was just
we
like
show sponsors and all that kind of
that's
stuff.
That's what it is, Tequila. That's how it is. You know,
that's how it is, right?
Ricky Smiley says something to the effect of what Sean Ron said that makes sense. He talked about it, and a lot of comedians talk about all the time where they were the headliner and they come in and the lineup's been switched. Yeah. And Ricky Smiley said, "We ask one question:
Is my pay the same?
If it don't change my money, I don't care because I'm okay." He said, "Go behind me if you want to. That's your fault." But he did say he even shows up to places where he asks not to be the headliner because he said when he goes and looks at the roster, if the person before him is going to do a lot of cussing and sex and have the crowd roaring, he said, I don't want to come behind them and do my church stuff.
Does anybody know what date this event was?
Oh, you know
what?
It
was the 31st, I think.
The earth stood still, so I can't.
So I don't know if this is like it, but this I just searched for the like promotional material.
That's one of them. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's a primary look.
The official one or not, but
that's a primary look.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Your big image and they stick you on the side of it.
Yeah, basically what we're saying is none of this was decided 5 minutes before she was going on stage.
And it could have been, like I said, because she wasn't answering the phone call. And she was late. So they didn't even know if she was going to show up.
That sounds
Len, what are you saying? You believe in that this was choreographed by Monique?
I'm not going to say that it was choreographed by Monique, but I'm going to say that obviously there was an opportunity there that she took advantage of.
A little part of me wants to wonder.
I can't say whether it was choreographed or not. All I can say is I think it was a bad decision.
A part of me wants to wonder if like this is Monique telling us this is her new style of comedy. Like whenever she get pissed off, whenever she has to air her shit out, or whenever she has some disgruntled like disposition about something that happens in the industry, I'm gonna get on stage and air out everybody's business and like get down to the shit that I should be talking to people in private about. Like, I wonder if
Corey
this is
Holcomb
her
said when she don't have
issuing.
any material. Corey Holcomb said she don't have any material.
That's
She
the
uses
source of
that.
material, right?
She uses it as her material.
It's also how many people can you offend in a week? Okay, you offend. Yeah, one day you're offending people who are victims. The next day you're offending
Like,
people. Who are
she's
LGBT.
doing the millennial thing where I'm getting famous for doing for shock value.
Well,
Right.
she's doing the wrong thing.
Well,
Me being a survivor, I know you can be rid of a whole lot of things that's happened to you in your past, and just one thing brings it back up. And it takes a while for you to kind of go through all that, and then it's like, boom, flashbacks, all kinds of things start happening, and now you got to try to go back and re-heal yourself. And she should know better than that.
You know what? One of the things that just comes to mind right now is that because I've obviously seen a lot of comedians, different generations, and what I have always respected in our community in the entertainment world is that we learn and grow by the lessons presented to us from generations before. What I hope is that this does not become the benchmark for what comedy becomes, okay? No, because, our comedians, let's talk about the rawness. We've had some really raw comedians. All right. And they learned from each other. They respected each other. But when you get to where your presence and your value comes from a negative place, I'm always concerned because what does it teach our young entertainers?
Oh, the children. Here we go. The children.
No, because the children, that's famous.
Why you saying like that?
One, the children are saying things far worse than Monique and L.Hughely.
That's what I'm saying. As far as the children, that's what's cool. That's what's going to get you the views.
But here's the reason why it's not going to become a thing. Because there are too many people that aren't liking it. There's a difference between liking it in the moment and then not liking it. That's a short-sighted view. That's why it's not going to become a thing. It's because that's
and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It's a short-sighted view. You, no matter if you're annoying, hateful, whatever you are, you got to be likable. That's the number one thing. You got to be likable. Yeah. Because if you're likable, they'll put up with anything for a long period of time. But if you're not likable, then they won't.
In all the stuff that I've reviewed and listened to as a result of this being our topic for this week, I am so much more impressed and at least willing to consider the side of L.Hughely because he's made some very positive thoughts, and even though he's done the dozens in there, there's some.
He did it properly.
There's some value in the questions that he has raised, and why this occurred, why this has gone on and on. And quite frankly, I'm about done with this. Is my field.
Well, you ain't done with it till the episode is over. Okay, so we need to stop. You gotta be not done with it until it's over.
My perspective is this: we have spent far more time talking about something that does not impact our lives, has impacted their lives.
Way to kill the show.
We still don't have to like it.
We don't agree with it.
Way to kill the show. All right.
Well, I think Lynn, I agree with you, Lynn, and then I will disagree with you. I believe that this is impacting our lives because Monique had brought up a situation of she demonized his daughter as far as the rape thing.
That was wrong.
And that's impacting us because
they didn't necessarily
now
say rape. They just said some type of assault. They didn't say.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you. Assault. So that impacting our lives because now we have to have that conversation of, do we believe when a woman says that she's been assaulted or sexually harassed or anything like that? So now that's a conversation that we are forced to have because of, is it a good conversation?
I don't think we need to have this conversation again, because he came out when it happened and apologized for not protecting her then. I don't think
I think, Shannon, he's saying that it just reminds us that we need to be aware of situations that occur like that.
We talked about it last week with Amber Heard when she made all these claims and all these things, and they were all debunked. And it's like, but everybody, look what they did to Johnny Depp because of those accusations. That now, where are all the people who just went in on him, and now they're all quiet? And like now,
silent. Disney is shook.
Right now with Monique, everybody who jumped on her side is like if you just sometimes, like, you know how they say I'm here for the comments. Sometimes I click on a video and I just comments. You just go to the comments. And
always go to the comments first.
Right.
Comments were, I was a big supporter of Monique, but this is just too. How are you supporting Black women like you keep saying, calling all of them your babies, even though they're grown women?
Love us for real.
Line in that message about L.Hughely's wife is, you suck the bleep of a coward. How are you supporting this other Black woman by saying something like that?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And then the rebuttal in the comments was, well, how are you with the one sitting beside you? You know what we heard about him? You got to think about it.
Once again, none of it has nothing at all to do with the contract. Nothing at all to do with the situation.
Right.
And then you're using terminology that's offensive to a lot of people with all the language, but we got your back. When it comes to this, we got your back. Yeah. But you sound the same as the ones you're talking about you want to defend, but you on the other side. It doesn't make sense. You're using terminology that is not good.
That's the worst kind of ally.
Ooh, I got a question. I'd like for everybody to answer this. Everything that happened when the information about his daughter was said by her. You're L.Hughely. How do you handle that situation?
The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call my daughter and talk to her about what has been said and let her know that I support her, and don't let this situation of what this woman said bring you back down to what happened in the past. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. And then I'm going to address it. I'm going to address it on my platform that I have, as Monique says, of these million views. I'm gonna address it and just pretty much say that it's unprofessional, and do you take the high road, or do you go up there and just and bring up all the bad stuff about it? I believe that I would just take the high road and let everybody know that I believe that Monique has a problem. There's something going on with her, and she needs help.
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
I like what Sean said. I would definitely go talk to my daughter about the rumor. To not be like entertained or fazed by it. And I might get an attorney to represent me or something.
Feeling how would you handle it?
Depends on how I was feeling that day and which conscience was on my back that day. Because when all of that rant was going on, and especially when you brought in my child and a private moment, personal thing within our family that has nothing to do to try to demonize my character, and you feel like you got to bring in the people that I love to see like you want to split them, I might would have showed up on your house at your address on the worst day, right? I would have had people behind me in that, but then I might would have called you and said, well, let's set up a mediation because maybe I need someone between me. But we definitely would have had a conversation about what is going on, because at this point, we don't have any beef that I know about. I'm a comedian. I say a lot about a whole lot of people. That's what we do. But we don't bring up family. We don't bring up personal stuff. So what is it that's going on with you that you felt like you had the need to do this? And then I would talk to my child about it. But I need to get out about her because I have so much going on with me, with her, that I didn't need to talk to my child in that first moment. But then I would let her know what's going on after that, because I need you to know before someone else throws it out there.
Whore. Lynn.
What you just said? I just told you it depends on which country is on my back.
Not you, Taylor. Not you. Not you, Taylor. Something I saw in someone's camera that we'll watch on the playback. Lynn, how would you handle it?
I think, how would I handle it from L.Hughely's point of view?
No. Question? Yeah, you're doing.
Or in general.
No,
I think in general, obviously, I gotta get through the moment, you know, when things exploded on the stage. And then once we got past that and other things came up, I think certainly as a parent, I would reiterate with my child, you know, I would make sure we were still seeing eye to eye on the places that we've been and where we are now. And then I think the bottom line is that, you know, how much more we give to this has a lot to do with giving it from the positive perspective and not reiterating all of the negative stuff. I mean, what's going on, all of this stuff, you can't respond to everything. And I think the best thing is to reiterate those things, that the lessons that have already been learned, have already been traversed through time with DL and his daughter, and then to give the best we can to help people understand. Can I say a 4-letter word?
You can say what you want to say.
I like those.
It happens, and you know, there are better ways to handle circumstances. And I think always the best that we can do is be the best that we are, and hope that we can convey that to everyone else. You can't keep battling Monique. You know, that's not his issue to resolve. What issues she may or may not have are her issues.
Yeah, I don't think this is a situation Hughely should battle heads on alone or nothing.
I think so. Okay, I personally reject notions of I got to take the high road. I feel like nowadays people use as an excuse to just be problematic. Oh, he should take the high road. I feel like Michelle Obama did us a great disjustice by saying when they
go low, we go high.
They go low, I'm going sub-terra. Like I'm going to hell. Like I am not gonna sit up here and like take the high road for like sake of looking like a saint or whatever. Like, and my reaction, I like to feed people the same type of medicine that they feed me. So if it were me, I would have gotten on stage and did the exact same thing. Like I would have gotten on stage and told them exactly how problematic she was in this exchange, so that the whole world has everything and all of the facts, not just her side of the facts of what's going on. I would have aired everything.
Now, if you're talking about when she was on stage, now, because I know John asked the question about what happened on social media with the daughter situation. Now, when she was on stage rambling, doing all her thing, I probably would have stepped out on stage at the same time she was doing her ramble to make sure we can get it all. So we want to air it all out right now. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, but you know what? DL posed a really good observation. And I'm going to say this. When he made the statement that at that point in time, our obligation was to our audience, people that pay to see us deliver a comedy show. Okay?
Right. That would have been comedy if they went back and forth on the stage.
Right. And that would not, and I'm sorry, but I am saddened by the fact that we have so many people that would rather watch the drama than watch the comedy. And so
I think she did herself a disservice.
I mean, when DL, that was such a point that people paid money for tickets to come see a comedy show, and what they saw was a dramatic exchange, not a comedy show.
And she said that people told her to just sit back and let God fix it. And she said, God threw it back at me and told me I could handle it. And I was like, wow. But when you sat back, God and God but when you sat back and was doing nothing, look what happened. 50 Cent approached you.
Literally the only time during her performance. That was literally the only time during the performance I actually laughed. When she said God threw that back, it was the only time I laughed.
I was like, wow. But you don't even see what that meant. When you sat down and was still, 50 Cent is giving you an opportunity, and now you decide, oh, I'm gonna go back and do the same thing I was doing before. Makes no sense.
I mean, not what I would consider from a brand point of view. A good position or choice to make.
I just feel like she's been hurt so many times, bitter. She can't figure out which battle to handle. Certain battles you don't need to deal with. It's not a battle.
And it doesn't need to be done out in public. It doesn't need to be done out into the because the court of public opinion is a mofo.
It's harsh.
It's harsh.
Right. And so what I want to know is Shonen, is, are we gonna pay for another show to go see another rant?
Oh, well, she's gonna be here. We're gonna find out because she's gonna be here June 18th.
And
she's gonna be here June 18th. You're gonna see how many tickets she selling in Raleigh, North Carolina on June
18th. That's a sad state of affairs.
I was okay. Well, I might be in attendance.
Yes, June 18th will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. So let's see how many tickets she sell at the Duke Energy Center. Okay.
Yeah.
I might go for the same reason why I was thinking about going.
Shonen, I'm gonna have to say I might just not be her audience. Okay.
Listen, it was the same reason because, like, after the Chris Rock situation happened, he came around North Carolina too, and it was the same thing.
Yeah, I saw him.
Well, I want to see if he's going to talk about it.
I watched him. I watched them at Duke Energy Center like the following week after that happened.
And if people come pay to see whatever, that's for me. That's a sad state of affairs.
Hey, we'll find out if the tickets sell or if they decide to make a new show without her.
Well,
I think we lost our well, I'm still here. Producer. We lost Keoni. But
gave up on us.
Yeah, I think we gave up on us, but I believe we had
he got sick of us
at the top of the hour now. So did everybody give their final thoughts? Was that what Keoni was doing right there?
No, he wasn't. He was just wanting to know what would we do if we were them.
Well, we got another little segment here, and I don't know where that's coming from. What's up,
He was like, you just left us, honey.
Oh, the power went out in like the whole building.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Keoni, remember that happened to me? What do you say? You need to pay your light bill.
The show must go on.
You want to make a bet? Let's see receipts.
Nope.
Let's not do that no more.
I ain't making no more bets.
I didn't get to hear Shonen's answer to the question. Darn it.
Playback.
You're watching the playback.
I know what my answer would have been, though, because I don't know where y'all are in the conversation. I just popped back in. But
so what's your answer?
I would have called my daughter. It would have been a very short conversation because, heck, you got to know your daughter by now, right?
Right.
And I let her clap back how she wants because she's an adult. And then the next thing I do is I don't say anything. What I do is I purchase a first-class ticket for my wife to go down there and beat her ass.
See, it's kind of like one of them consciences.
That's right. That's right.
I'm saying I don't have to reach out to my daughter first because she already knows. We already been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yep. So before you came back on, Keoni, we was about to give our final thoughts.
All right, cool. Y'all go ahead. Recalibrate.
So
I need a couple more sips of this water to get myself right.
Sure it's Wilder.
You
sure it's Wilder?
This is preparing me for my after party.
Okay.
Naturally.
You're natural.
All right. So we're gonna start with the final thoughts on this subject of Monique versus DL, and I'm going to start with Fook. What is your final thoughts on this story? I want to say debacle, but this story.
You can't work with everyone, and haters are everywhere.
There you go.
That was
short and sweet. What about you, Lynn?
My final thought is I have already given it too much airtime.
There you go. Sean, what about you?
Be careful if you're gonna work with Monique. That's literally all I learned from this.
Right.
I gotcha. Tila, what is your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is Monique had a valid gripe, but she took the gripe out on the wrong person. You did too much and took it too far. That's not the type of woman or person that you want to be seen out in the world when you're trying to get your life back in the industry. Do better.
What about you, Keoni?
Mine is answer calls and show your ass up on time. See what happens. That's number one. Number two is people's kids are off limits, no matter what.
Right.
Have to listen. Talk about my mama. Talk about my daddy. Kids.
No, don't talk about my mama.
No. I'm saying my mom and daddy and they 6 7. Talk about all you want. They can defend themselves. But don't talk about my children. You know what? I laughed in the beginning, but that watching all that stuff this week actually stressed me out. Mm-hmm. And the poor soul that's gonna come over here today is gonna get all that stress put on them.
Okay.
Well, shit.
All right. My final thoughts is, and I agree with you, Keoni. Children is off limits. Leave that alone. I believe DL was a target. He was an easy target of because what happened with his family. She could not touch Steve Harvey. She could not touch any other comedian. She could not talk about Oprah. She could not talk about Lee Daniels. She could not talk about anybody. But she chose him for a reason because he's the easy target, and she believed that by doing that, she would have more people on her side. My final thoughts is that, like y'all said, you can't work with Monique. She needs help. I would not work with her. I would not support her. I would not buy any of her stuff. I would help. I would get her help and find out what's going on with Daddy. Daddy got a big play in this too. You know, Daddy needs some help too. So
sick of Daddy. Oh.
Everybody needs help. Everybody needs help.
Don't get tired of that name yet.
But I want to thank.
My whole thing is, even though we say he felt like he was an easy target, if you notice, she only messes with the people she feel like if they come at her, she can get something from, because she messes with the people got all this stuff that they can't really come back at her. She has none of that thing.
Final thoughts.
I'm just saying. It's because he mentioned the fact that he was an easy target. And I'm like,
but it's his final thought. No, we didn't.
I know it's his final. It just made me think about her targets.
You think about it.
I want to thank everybody listening, watching.
Hold on, Sean. Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt you. Don't try to sit there. You're gonna tell me bye. You better be glad I ain't paying you. That's all.
Oh, look at that.
Not the thing.
You're gonna be calling somebody daddy today. Watch.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, y'all getting a little too personal.
It's spicy.
Sharon, please end this show before we go.
Yes. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next Friday. Bye.
And leave those comments, please.
Leave the comments.
Peace out.